something feels different, it's because I've made new character sprites to use in these videos. The old ones were a bit outdated, and I also wanted to make more expressive ones. Anyways, I feel kind of obligated to review Has-Been and Helluva Boss episodes at this point since I reviewed both pilots as well as the Addict music video, and I've reviewed episodes 1 and 2 of Helluva Boss, so I guess that's just a thing I do now. Anyways, episode 3 of Helluva Boss dropped a little while ago, so here I am. It's not as amazing as episode 2 was, but episode 2 was a literal masterpiece, so that's an unfair ranking. If I had to rank the pilot and 3 actual episodes from worst to best, this would be my ranking. Just like with my previous reviews, I'm going to go through the plot of the episode and talk about more specific aspects. So, without further ado, let's hop into the plot. We start in the IMP van with Blitz badly singing along to a song. The song's okay, nothing really to say there. Suddenly, a fancy pink car pulls into the parking lot and Blitz almost crashes the van. Turns out, the car belongs to a demon named Verosica Mayday, who is a pop star and also Blitz's ex, apparently. Based off of this line, I think Blitz canonically has a sister?
And rehab is for sad loser wash-ups. So your sister says hi.
That's a neat bit of Blitz lore. We learn that Verosica took the IMP's only parking spot, which is the entire conflict of the episode. It kind of reminds me of the short film Becky Prim, where the conflict is over a bench. It's very petty, which is honestly very in character for Blitzo. The wolf dude from the teaser trailer shows up. Feel free to laugh at me for how wrong my theory on him was. He and Blitz don't have any history, he's literally just Verosica's bodyguard. His name is Vortex, which is honestly a really cool name. Moxie, Millie, and Luna are all shocked at hearing that Verosica and Blitz dated.
Okay, why are you all acting like that's such a shock?
Hello, it's Verosica Mayday.
It's you? Is she blind? Suffering some form of brain damage.
Luna sees another furry and immediately catches feelings. Moxie tries and severely fails to reason with Verosica and her gang. Blitzo challenges Verosica to what the succubi call a demon duel.
So I bet you bitches can't fuck as many people as we can off by the end of the day.
Blitz tells the IMP their game plan and he bashes the furry fandom.
You know the kind of freaks up there who drool all over you.
It's extra funny considering that Viv Z-Pop is a furry, or at least makes furry content. Luna realizes that the IMP have not been using human disguises. Never thought I'd say this, but I agree with Luna. Their less than human appearance definitely didn't help them in episode 1. Blitz even draws a huge crowd of clients with a crappy flyer, and the Uber driver from the Has-Been pilot even makes a little cameo. Luna turns into a human, which the folks over at Dire Gentleman pointed out is a very clever way to humanize her by literally making her a human. We get a little montage of Luna luring horny clients into alleyways, only for them to get killed by the IMP. They're doing pretty well until Verosica shows up on the beach and sings a very horny pop song. It reminds me of that one episode of Atypical.
Trust me, she wants to take the D train to Bonetown. Sex, again, just always assume I mean sex.
Anyways, Luna is distracted by Vortex, some human calls Blitzo a leprechaun, and Verosica's alcohol flask turns into a mutant fish? This part of the episode still makes no sense to me. Luna tries and severely fails to flirt with Vortex.
But my friends call me Tex.
Oh yeah? I wish I had friends. I don't have friends.
Someone help this poor woman. Blitz's overprotective dad mode switches on, leaving Moxie and Millie to complete the mission.
It's looking like it's up to us to handle this list.
Hell yeah! Team Eminem getting shit done, making the money.
Why did they recast Millie? Back to Blitz and Luna.
Oh, fuck, Blitz! Why can't you stay out of my face for like 5 minutes?
Because I adopted you! And that should mean something!
Oh, what does it matter? You're not my real dad! I was almost 18!
It still counts!
For all the people who, at any point, shipped them, please don't do that. He's legally her dad. Find other characters to write smug about. This recontextualizes a lot about their dynamic, actually. I know it was kind of established in a pilot.
Happy adoption anniversary, Looney!
And I'm sure it was established on Twitter at some point, but I don't look at that. I didn't realize that he had actually adopted her until this episode, so it just kind of altered the pilot a bit for me personally. Back to the episode at hand.
I didn't need you then, asshole! I
I don't now.
Yikes. Someone calls Moxie a possum and then throws him into a beer barrel. In order to not drown, he drinks the alcohol in the barrel. Luna says something that has some really sad implications.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. He'll get over it. He always does.
The fact that we've gotten 2 major father-daughter conflicts within episodes 2 and 3 is very interesting. Episode 1 also had a large focus on family, with the main conflict being Moxie's quarrels with killing a family. Hell, even the pilot had some discussion of family.
Luna is a valued member of our family, and we don't get rid of family.
We aren't a family, sir.
Family seems to be a pretty major aspect of the show, considering that every episode so far has discussed it in some way. I'm curious as to how this theme will affect the rest of the series. Millie finds Moxie drunk out of his mind.
Billy! Hi.
Intoxicated characters are always a sight to behold. The fish from earlier makes a comeback. This part of the episode is so weird. I feel like it could have figured out a much better conflict than the fish. Honestly, I feel like if the fish thing was handled differently, it may have worked, but something about the way it was presented felt out of place. Again, that may just be a nitpick, and overall, I really liked this episode, so I'll drop it. The fish eats Moxie, so Millie saves him, but she gets eaten in the process.
I love that woman.
Thankfully, she cuts her way out of the fish, which kills it.
Would be a shame if anyone found out you guys were behind a giant monster fish in the human world.
Yeah, well, you 3 nasty-ass gremlins will be in shit for not being in disguises.
It seems that accessing and messing with the living world is against the law to some extent, because if you recall, Solus also said this in episode 1.
You know, I have been permitting you to access the mortal realm less than legally for some time now.
Nice little bit of world building there. The IMP and the Succubi make a deal where no one finds out about all of the law breaking if the IMP gets the parking space back. Luna gets friend-zoned by Vortex, the Succubi get arrested, and that was the episode. Aside from a weird fish thing, it was actually a really good episode. So let's dissect it piece by piece, starting with the humor. In my opinion, this was the funniest episode so far. The comedy of the show has evolved so much from a pilot, which gives me a lot of hope for Has-Been to also be better in its future. I don't even really have anything notable to say about the comedy, because at this point, it's just up to the standards that I have at least. I'd say the humor is now up to par with other adult cartoons, like BoJack or King of the Hill. Like, it's just good now, so I really don't have anything to say about it specifically, but I will go over through my favorite moments.
Holy shit!
They let me out because I'm still famous, and rehab is for sad loser wash-ups.
It's funny because Angel is famous and he's also in a rehabilitation hotel.
Hello, it's Verosika Mayday.
It's you?
Is she blind? Suffering some form of brain damage.
What was sex with her like?
Billy!
What? It's a pop star. You'd want to know what sex with Michael Crawford was like.
Touché. I don't really listen to what's classified as pop genre music, so her status to me is name recognition alone, in my opinion. Rivetive
Moxie,
of...
shut the fuck up.
Alrighty then. Well, why don't you take an art class?
Why don't you see how expensive they are? You know the kind of freaks up there who drool all over you. Oh, Looney, look at you. You look downright awful. I am so proud. Where's my baby?
My friends call me Tex.
Oh yeah? I wish I had friends.
A human called me a possum. I am not a possum.
I left out a lot of other funny moments too. It's just a really funny episode. On to the characters. Moxie was amazing as always. I feel like the fandom really doesn't appreciate him enough, which is a shame because he's just such a fun character. Definitely my favorite character in the series. Seeing him drunk was very funny as well. He's just great. As much as I really don't like Millie's new voice, she was actually more memorable in this episode. She still kinda serves the purpose of just making sure Moxie doesn't die or have a breakdown.
Is Mox okay?
But she also murders the giant fish and overall feels just more like a real person compared to the previous episodes. Vortex was great. I thought he would be an intimidating fella because of what we saw in the trailer, but he actually was really fun and wholesome, and I hope we see more of him. Verosika. I know people love her, and I didn't exactly hate her. She just felt pretty meh to me. Blitz was kind of the same as the previous episodes. I like him, he's good. It was interesting seeing a tiny bit of genuine emotional side to him. It's clear that he really cares about Luna, even to the extent where it's suffocating. I would be really interested to see a fully Blitzo-focused episode, because he has a lot of weird backstory that I think would be fun and interesting to explore. He's also functionally the main character. He is the titular Helluva boss, so it would be cool to have an episode focused on him. Anyways, on to the main focus of this episode, Luna. Prior to this episode, I have been very vocal about my hatred for her. I've always found her pretty unpleasant. With Stolas, prior to Lululand, I found him unpleasant, but I never had a bonfire of burning hatred for him. I hated Luna. I found her annoying. She was unfunny. It's hard to pull off edgy characters in a way that doesn't feel cringy, and she was the pinnacle of that cringiness. However, they did something I didn't think would be possible for Luna. Here's the thing about Stolas. Even though it was a shock when he turned into a multi-layered character, they really hadn't shown much of him prior. There were a few short scenes of him being horny, and then he got a project focus on him, kind of in the same vein as Angel Dust, who was really just horny in the pilot, but then got a music video and comic dedicated to expanding his character. Luna, however, had a lot of personality established in the pilot. That's one of the really cool things I actually really liked about the Helluva Boss pilot. For all its many flaws, it gives a pretty good idea of all the characters, which is why I liked it so much. And with a few exceptions such as Stolas, the characters were virtually the same as in the pilot, just with better writing. Luna, however, is very different in this episode, but it works. Like, it sounds like it should feel out of place, but she still feels like Luna. And what's more, I didn't hate her. While my liking for her character is nowhere near the bar of Moxie or Stolas, I no longer despise her. This is my new tier list. She's actually funny now, though that may just be a byproduct of the overall quality of the show improving. She's still edgy, yeah, but it just works now, similar to Octavia. And what's more, while not to the extent of Stolas, they managed to make her more layered than I could have possibly expected. And I think that's pretty cool. They took a character that I hated, changed up her character a lot, made her much more likable, and still managed to make it feel like the same character. Writers, you did it again!
Dave, you genius! You did it again!
You fixed the character I had zero hope for, and went above and beyond any expectations I could have possibly had. Good job. Anyways, let's wrap this up. In conclusion, Spring Broken was a pretty good episode. It was no masterpiece, and it still had flaws, but it was good, and I think a good turnaround for Luna plenty makes up for the fish thing. Amazing work for the Spindlehorse studio and everyone involved in this episode. Good work all around, can't wait to see more. Goodbye.